Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we take a stack of sources, pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge, and serve them up just for you, the curious learner. Today, we're not just dipping our toes in, we're plunging headfirst into the powerful, ever-evolving world of digital design and the incredible tools that bring our most intricate ideas to life. Specifically, we're doing a full-spectrum deep dive into one of Adobe's foundational powerhouses, InDesign.
That's right. Adobe InDesign isn't just another piece of software you might, dabble with. It's a dedicated page design and production application. It's truly built for the kind of precision and control that transforms, well, good design into professional, uncompromised brand statements. Think about it. You can craft exquisite full-color documents for anything from your everyday desktop printer to high-resolution imagers and even the most massive, sophisticated commercial color presses.
Wow, so really high-end stuff too.
Exactly. But it's not just about ink on paper anymore, right? InDesign seamlessly lets you design dynamic publications for a broad range of electronic devices like tablets, smartphones, and e-readers. And it integrates beautifully with the entire Creative Cloud ecosystem, allowing you to export your masterpieces in versatile formats like interactive PDFs, clean HTML, and rich EPUBs. It's truly your gateway to professional-grade publishing across virtually all media.
Absolutely. And our core mission today, for you, is to unpack the absolute key insights and best practices from a truly invaluable source, the Adobe InDesign Classroom in a Book 2020 release. We're aiming to give you a genuine shortcut to understanding this robust software, illuminating not just the fundamentals, but also some advanced features. Whether you're a complete newcomer just starting your design journey, or someone with existing skills looking to refine your craft and really push the boundaries of what you can do, this deep dive is your express lane to being truly well-informed without getting bogged down in endless manuals.
And that source, the Adobe InDesign Classroom in a Book, really is an unparalleled resource for learning. This isn't just any guide you might casually pick up. It's part of the official training series for Adobe graphics and publishing software. It's meticulously developed directly with the support of Adobe product experts.
Okay, so that's important. What does that mean for you as a learner?
It means immediate and unwavering reliability. This is Adobe-endorsed content, making it incredibly trustworthy. It ensures you're learning the most current and correct methods directly from the source,
That's a huge point. Knowing it's official training should instantly boost your confidence because you're learning the Adobe way. And the book is specifically designed for self-paced learning, which directly addresses your need, perhaps, to avoid feeling overwhelmed. It promises to help you master the fundamentals and advanced features, including best practices, tips, and techniques for using the latest version of InDesign.
Right. It's like having Adobe's top minds right there with you, guiding you at your own speed, letting you absorb complex information on your terms.
Yeah, that sounds ideal.
Indeed. And it's authored by highly respected experts like Tina DeGarald, who is described as a prepress master and production designer. Her experience in the field is profound. She's handled thousands of large and complex projects since before InDesign 1.0 even existed.
Wow, before 1.0, that's serious experience.
Absolutely. She's become a recognized authority on InDesign best practices and techniques, which is exactly the kind of deep, practical, real-world knowledge you want. This structured, expert-backed approach moves you far beyond just knowing what buttons to click. It guides you to understanding the crucial why and how to use InDesign effectively for real-world projects. Whether you're prepping a critical report for a meeting, catching up on a new field for a career pivot, or just pursuing your pure curiosity, this ensures you gain not just theoretical knowledge, but truly applicable skills.
I can already see the value here. This isn't just about software, it's about mastering a professional craft. So before we jump into the exciting world of laying out a document with all its text, graphics, and beautiful colors, let's talk about the foundational setup. It's an aspect often overlooked by eager learners, I think, but it's absolutely crucial for a smooth learning experience and really for working effectively and efficiently with any complex software. It's like setting up your workshop before you start building, right?
Precisely. The guide implicitly assumes you have basic computer knowledge, so it jumps straight into InDesign-specific features from the 2020 release. For the hands-on practice, which is absolutely vital for learning a tool like this, you'll need to download the accompanying lesson files from adobepress.com/ondesignCIB 2020.
Okay, good tip. So you need those files.
Yes, this is key because it allows for that practical, step-by-step learning that reinforces the master the fundamentals promise. Without those files, you'd just be reading about it, which isn't how you truly learn a design application. You need to get your hands dirty, so to speak.
And it's worth noting that implicitly, the book also covers or assumes you've set up the Creative Cloud desktop application. That's important too, isn't it?
Very important. That's how you integrate with crucial services like Adobe Fonts, which we'll definitely talk about later, and it's how you manage your InDesign installation itself. It's all part of getting your digital system ready for prime time.
Okay, so once you have those necessary files in hand, the next crucial step is managing InDesign's default settings. It might sound like a technicality, but you mentioned this is a big deal for a smooth learning journey.
Oh, it really is. This is truly a fundamental reset button for your workspace. Why is it so crucial, especially for you as a new learner? Imagine you've inherited a car with all the previous driver's custom settings, the seats adjusted for someone else, the radio's tuned to a strange station, the mirrors are all wrong. It's jarring, right?
Yeah, totally. You spend the first 5 minutes just trying to fix everything.
Exactly. Resetting InDesign defaults is like getting a brand new car, perfectly calibrated to factory settings. It ensures that the preferences and default settings of your InDesign program exactly match those used in the lessons. This prevents any unexpected behavior caused by previous customizations or even accidental changes you might have made.
So how do you actually do that? Where do you find this magic reset file?
The process involves quitting InDesign first. That's important. Then you need to locate the InDesign defaults file. Its location varies slightly between Windows and macOS, but the book explains where to find it. And then you either move it to a different folder, maybe save your old settings for later, just in case, or you simply delete it.
Delete it. That sounds a bit scary.
It does, but don't worry. When you restart InDesign, it automatically creates a brand new one with the original factory settings. It gives you that perfectly clean slate.
So it's like wiping the slate clean. I can already imagine that frustrating moment when your software isn't behaving quite like the book says it should. So this reset default step, why is that such a critical foundation for not just learning, but for avoiding those pulling your hair out, troubleshooting moments down the line?
Precisely. It's like getting a clean canvas before you start painting. Any lingering custom settings or maybe even minor glitches from previous sessions could subtly alter how tools behave or how certain elements display on your screen. By resetting, you're guaranteeing a predictable, consistent environment that mirrors the lessons. And more broadly, it's the first diagnostic step any seasoned designer takes when InDesign throws a curveball or acts, well, weirdly.
Okay. So it's a pro troubleshooting tip too.
Definitely. And this concept of resetting defaults isn't just for InDesign, by the way. It's a general best practice for managing configurations across many applications. If something's acting strangely, reverting to factory settings is often the first and most effective troubleshooting step you can take. It creates that clean slate, minimizing interference for focused learning.
That's a super valuable tip, extending beyond just InDesign. Great stuff. Once your InDesign is pristine and ready to go, the next step is to unlock its power by understanding its fundamental building blocks. The workspace itself. This is where you spend all your time, right? So getting comfortable here is absolutely essential.
Absolutely. The InDesign work area is essentially everything you see when you first open or create a document. Think of it as your digital design studio. By default, it displays your tools, panels, and menus in what's called the Essentials workspace. This is your core environment.
Okay, essentials. This sounds like a good starting point.
It is. Getting a feel for its default layout is the very first step to feeling comfortable and in control. The Essentials workspace is thoughtfully designed to provide you with the most commonly used tools and panels right up front. It's a smart default for any learner, reducing that initial feeling of overwhelm.
And what does that default view typically include? What are the main areas I should be looking at when I first open it up?
Okay, so at the very top of your screen, you'll typically see the menu bar and application bar. These are your universal controls, offering access to file management, editing commands, window settings, that kind of thing. Standard stuff.
Got it. Menu bar, application bar.
Right. Below that, often docked on the right side of your screen, you'll find key panels like the Properties panel and sometimes the Control panel. The Properties panel is particularly dynamic. It provides a contextual display of information and controls for whatever object you currently have selected. So if you click on text, it shows text options. Click on an image, it shows image options.
Okay, so it adapts to what you're doing.
Exactly. The Control panel, which sometimes sits below the application bar, often offers more precise numerical inputs for managing objects, like their exact X and Y position, width, and height. Together, these panels really are your command centers for detailed, precise work.
Okay, so we've got the overall canvas and our main command centers, the properties and control panels. But InDesign's true power, I think, lies in its flexible panel system. It's not just the static layout, is it? It seems like it's built to be customized.
Not at all static, and you've hit on a critical point there. InDesign offers many panels that provide quick access to commonly used tools and features. Things like layers, swatches, pages, styles. Lots of them. By default, these are usually docked at the right side of the screen, nestled neatly away. Panels are all about efficiency and quick access. They're like dedicated workstations for specific tasks.
Like little toolboxes for different jobs.
Exactly. The concept of docking them, which the source describes as a collection of panels glued together, is key to organizing your screen space effectively. And the powerful feature is that each workspace remembers its panel configuration. This means you can truly personalize your setup to match your workflow for different types of projects. Save it, recall it later.
So you can really make it your own. And it sounds like there are ways to manage screen clutter too, right? Like expanding and collapsing panels. That seems vital for maximizing your creative space when you're deep into design.
Absolutely vital. You can click a panel icon, say the Pages panel icon, to expand it, revealing its full contents. Find the page you need then. Once you're done, clicking the double arrow icon or the panel icon again collapses it back down to just the icon. This is super useful for brief interactions, minimizing screen clutter when you're focusing intensely on your document itself. It's about having the tools handy, but, out of the way until you need them.
Makes sense. Keep the desk clean until you need that specific tool. And what about rearranging them? Can you break them out of that dock and really customize their placement? Put them wherever you want.
Oh, absolutely. This is where you start to sculpt your truly personalized workflow. You can drag a single panel, like the paragraph styles panel, right out of the dock to create a free-floating panel. This gives you complete flexibility to place it anywhere on your screen, even on a second monitor if you have one, which is a pretty common setup for designers.
Ah, the two-monitor dream.
It is. Then you can even drag another panel, such as the character styles panel, into that free-floating panel to create a custom panel group. This is where the magic truly happens for efficiency and tailored workflows. You're essentially building your own custom toolkits on the fly.
Okay, so you're essentially building your own custom toolkits. What's the fundamental difference between stacking them versus grouping them then?
They sound similar, but probably have distinct uses in practice. Good distinction. Stacked panels are attached vertically. They move as a single unit when you drag the top bar, essentially like a stack of papers or trays. Grouped panels, on the other hand, appear as tabs within one larger window. Like the character styles and paragraph styles panels often are by default. You click the tab to switch between them.
Right, I've seen that. Tabs are familiar.
The benefit of grouping is immense, especially for tasks that require related tools simultaneously, like text formatting. You can put all your type-related panels together. You can place this custom panel group in a handy location while leaving the remaining panels collapsed and out of the way, giving you quick tabbed access to related tools without cluttering your main work area. And for quick minimizing, if you double-click the gray area next to a Panels tab, it instantly minimizes or expands that panel within its group again for saving screen real estate when you need to focus on your document.
That sounds like a game changer. Imagine having all your typography tools in one spot, tabbed and ready to go, or all your color tools. I can see how customizing panels significantly enhances your workflow, allowing you to tailor your environment to specific tasks, like a typography-focused setup versus one optimized for image editing or layout. I've even heard of designers using a second monitor just for managing panels, maximizing their design canvas on the main screen.
It's a common and highly effective strategy for advanced users, truly creating a command center optimized for creative flow. It frees up your main screen for the actual design. From individual panels, we naturally move to the overarching concept of workspaces, which build on this idea of deep customization.
So a workspace is essentially a saved configuration of all these panels and menus. It's like a snapshot of your ideal working environment for a specific kind of task.
Precisely. A workspace is a configuration of panels and menus. InDesign actually provides a variety of workspaces for special purposes right out of the box. Things like digital publishing, printing, and proofing, and typography. These are excellent starting points, giving you a prearranged layout for common tasks.
So you don't have to build everything from scratch if you don't want to.
Right. But while you cannot modify the provided workspaces themselves, you can't override Adobe's defaults. The crucial part is that you can save your own custom configurations.
So this is where all that panel customization really pays off. You can arrange everything just so, maybe group your type panels, float your layers panel, hide stuff you don't need, then save it as my annual report layout or my magazine spread workspace, and instantly recall it later. That truly optimizes the setup phase, doesn't it?
Exactly. Saving custom configurations allows you to switch between different task-specific layouts efficiently, dramatically reducing setup time and, frankly, cognitive load. You don't have to rebuild your setup every time. This is a direct answer to your need for quick but thorough knowledge by instantly adapting the interface. It's about optimizing your environment for whatever project you're tackling. It lets you focus on the creative problem solving rather than interface management.
Makes total sense. Get the environment right, then focus on the work. Once your workspace is perfectly set and you feel comfortable in your digital studio, it's time to actually navigate through the design document itself.
Yes, and navigating a document effectively is absolutely crucial, especially as designs get more complex, potentially spanning dozens or even hundreds of pages.
Definitely. Let's talk about changing magnification. How do you zoom in on the nitty-gritty details or step back to see the whole sprawling picture of your design?
You have several incredibly versatile options for precise magnification. You can use view commands, like view actual size, for a 100% view of your document. That ensures you see it at its intended print size, which is important.
Okay, 100% view, useful check.
Or you can use the zoom tool, which is remarkably flexible for magnifying and reducing your document view. It looks like a little magnifying glass. For instance, you might zoom in on a text frame to revise text with pixel-perfect accuracy, or zoom way out to check the overall layout and balance across a spread. You need both perspectives.
So with the zoom tool, you just click and it zooms in. Simple as that. To where you clicked.
Yes, it's quite intuitive. Clicking with the zoom tool magnifies your view to the next preset level, centered exactly on your click point. It's like leaning in for a closer look. And if you want to zoom out, you simply hold down Alt on Windows or Option on macOS while clicking. That instantly pulls back your view, giving you a wider perspective.
Got it. Click to zoom in, Alt Option, click to zoom out. What about keyboard shortcuts? I know professional designers live by those for speed and seamless workflow. Are there any ninja-level shortcuts for zooming?
They absolutely do, and InDesign delivers here. It offers incredible efficient temporary shortcuts that let you zoom without ever having to switch tools explicitly. You can hold a Ctrl plus spacebar, Windows, or Command plus spacebar, macOS, to temporarily switch to the zoom in tool.
Temporarily, so you don't lose your current tool.
Exactly. With these keys held, you can click to magnify your view, or even better, drag a marquee, draw a box around an area to zoom precisely to it. And for zooming out, it's Ctrl plus Alt plus spacebar Windows or Command plus Option plus spacebar macOS. The best part is that when you release the keys, InDesign reverts right back to your previous tool, maybe the selection tool or the type tool, so you don't break your creative flow. It's fantastic for quick, on-the-fly checks without friction.
That's genius. No constant tool switching back and forth. Yeah. That sounds like it dramatically reduces friction in the workflow. How much time do you think a seasoned pro saves by using these key combinations compared to constantly clicking tools in the toolbar? It must add up.
Oh, absolutely. For a seasoned pro working on complex projects, these keyboard shortcuts can save hours over the course of a project. It's all about minimizing those micro interruptions that really add up and break your concentration.
Makes sense. And I've heard about animated zoom. What's that about? Is it just a fancy effect or does it actually help?
It's actually quite helpful, especially if you have a compatible GPU graphics processing unit card in your computer. It offers smooth animated displays when you use the zoom tool. Instead of jumpy step magnification, it's a fluid, almost cinematic experience. You can press and hold to zoom into the center, or Option plus hold to zoom out smoothly. You can also press and drag to the right to smoothly zoom in, or to the left to smoothly zoom out, giving you very fine, continuous control over the zoom level. And for a standard marquee zoom, you hold Shift while dragging to define a specific area to fill the screen. This provides a much more fluid and less disorienting visual experience, which is particularly helpful for navigating large, complex layouts with many intricate details. It feels less jarring.
Okay, smoother zooming. I like the sound of that. So we've got zooming down to a fine art. What about just moving around the page without changing magnification? For bigger documents, you need to pan and scroll right. How does InDesign help you navigate efficiently when you're already zoomed in close?
Yes, for moving around the page, the hand tool is your go-to companion. It looks like a little hand, logically enough. It allows you to drag the page view around your screen as if you're physically sliding the paper under a magnifying glass. You just click and drag.
Simple enough. Any tricks with the hand tool?
There's a neat trick. Double-clicking the hand tool icon in the Tools panel instantly fits the entire page, or spread if you're viewing facing pages, in your window. It gives you a quick overview regardless of your previous zoom level. Very handy. And for navigating larger documents or jumping directly to specific sections, the Layout Go to Page command is your friend. Or its universal shortcut, Ctrl+J, Windows, or Command+J, macOS. It lets you type in a page number and jump straight there.
Ctrl+J or Command+J. Good one to remember. Saves a lot of scrolling in a big document, I bet.
Definitely. Imagine trying to find a misplaced footnote in a 200-page academic journal without lightning-fast zoom and go-to-page commands. These tools prevent your document from becoming a digital labyrinth, keeping your focus on the design, not the search.
That's super helpful for long documents. I imagine you can also just flip through pages, like a physical book. Maybe page up, page down.
You absolutely can. There are keyboard shortcuts for next page and previous page, often page down and page up keys or using the scroll bar. There's also a convenient page number box in the lower left corner of the document window that displays your current page. Clicking on it reveals a menu of both document pages and master pages, allowing you to select and jump to any page quickly from a list.
Okay, multiple ways to get around it. You mentioned the pasteboard earlier.
Yeah.
What's that exactly? Is it just the gray area around the page?
Yes. Essentially, it's the area surrounding your page or spread. And a small detail, but important for organization. You can use the pasteboard as a storage area for objects that aren't currently on a page but you want to keep handy. The pasteboard isn't just a digital scratch pad, it's your extended design workbench. Need to experiment with a few different logo placements without cluttering your live page? Drag them onto the pasteboard. Want to stash an image or a block of text you might use later without deleting it? The pasteboard is your infinitely scrolling holding area. It allows you to keep your actual document pristine and focused, while providing a readily accessible sandbox for experimentation and temporary storage.
Got it. So it's like your messy desk area next to your clean drawing board. Useful. Efficient navigation is clearly key to maintaining creative flow.
And speaking of quick access and efficiency, what about context menus and panel menus? These are usually power user features, aren't they? How do they contribute to speed in InDesign? They absolutely are power user features, but they're easy enough for anyone to use once you know they exist. Context menus appear, as their name suggests, when you right-click an object or an empty area in InDesign. They provide a highly relevant list of commands specific to whatever you've clicked on at that precise moment. So if you right-click on text, you get text-related options. Right-click an image frame, you get image frame options.
Okay, so it anticipates what you might want to do next.
Exactly. Panel menus, on the other hand, are accessed via a small button, often a 3-line hamburger icon, located in the upper right corner of each individual panel. These menus offer options specific to that panel's functionality. For example, the Pages panel menu has options for adding pages, managing masters, numbering sections, etc. The Swatches panel menu has options for new swatches, loading swatches, deleting unused ones.
So it's all about putting the right tools at your fingertips right when you need them, without having to dig through those long main menus at the top.
Exactly. These menus offer you situational awareness and speed, significantly reducing the need to hunt through the main menu bar. It's about optimizing your workflow and keeping you focused on the task at hand. Understanding and utilizing these context and panel menus is often a sign of moving from a beginner to an intermediate or advanced user, because you're leveraging the hidden efficiencies and shortcuts built deep within the software. They streamline your interaction, allowing for more fluid design.
Makes sense. Little time savers that add up.
Yeah.
And finally, for this section, modifying interface preferences. That sounds like just a visual thing, like changing the theme of your software, but I imagine it contributes to comfort and clarity during long design sessions. Is it more than just aesthetic preference?
It absolutely does contribute significantly to comfort and clarity, and yes, it's more than just aesthetics. The source mentions that the screen captures in this book show the medium light interface, and that interface elements such as panels and dialog boxes will be darker on your screen if you are using the default interface. This highlights that your visual comfort and clarity are important. Maybe prefer a darker interface to reduce eye strain or a lighter one for better contrast in a bright room. Adjusting interface preferences allows you to reduce eye strain and personalize the look to your liking, making those long design sessions more pleasant and less fatiguing.
So you can actually choose between light and dark themes, essentially.
Yes. InDesign offers several interface brightness options from quite dark to fairly light. While seemingly minor, these preferences contribute to a personalized and less overwhelming experience. It aligns perfectly with your need to gain knowledge quickly but thoroughly by creating an environment that supports focused learning and reduces unnecessary strain. It's about making the tool comfortable for you.
Okay, that covers the workspace and navigation really well. It feels like we've set the stage properly. Now let's dive into actually using InDesign the building blocks of layout. What are the raw materials you'll be sculpting, the core components of every design you create?
Right, now we get into the fun stuff. This is where we explore the absolute core components you'll interact with constantly. InDesign documents often begin with you viewing guides, which, as we touched on, are non-printing elements. They're invisible in your final output, but incredibly helpful for precise layout and alignment on your screen while you work. Think of them like your scaffolding.
So guides are like the invisible grid holding everything together.
Exactly. You will then fundamentally learn to add and format text, work with and integrate graphics, pictures, logos, illustrations, and manipulate various objects which serve as containers for that content, or can be shapes themselves, like lines or rectangles. Guides provide that essential structural backbone for your design. Text and graphics are the primary content, and objects are the versatile containers for that content, or standalone elements.
You mentioned switching between views before. How does that relate to guides?
Right, you can toggle between preview mode, which hides all these non-printing elements like guides, grids, and frame edges. This allows you to see your final design as it will look clean and uncluttered. And then there's normal mode, which shows all the guides, frame edges, etc., giving you your construction lines back. This lets you quickly switch between seeing your polished output and seeing your underlying structure. It's really useful for checking alignment and then seeing the pure design.
Got it. Preview for the final look, normal for the working view. And adding text, how does that work typically?
When it comes to adding text, you typically use the type tool. It looks like a T. You can either click and drag to create a text frame, then type directly into it. Or more commonly for longer text, you import text, perhaps from a Microsoft Word file or another source using the file place command.
What happens if the text doesn't fit in the frame you made?
That's where you encounter overset text. This is indicated by a small red plus sign, plus, in the little square called the output, on the lower right corner of the text frame. This little red plus sign is your signal that there's more text than the frame can currently display. It hasn't disappeared, it's just hidden. You'll then learn to thread text frames, basically linking them together. You click the red plus sign, your cursor loads with the overset text, and then you click in another text frame, or click and drag to create a new one. The text then flows seamlessly from the first frame into the next, even across different pages. It's fundamental for articles or stories that span multiple columns or pages.
Okay, threading text. That's key for longer documents. So after understanding the basic building blocks like guides, text, and graphics, what about making things consistent across your entire document? That sounds like where styles come in a critical element for efficiency, I imagine.
Yes, consistency is absolutely key to professional design, and that's exactly what styles empower you to achieve with remarkable efficiency. InDesign provides paragraph styles, character styles, and object styles for quickly and consistently formatting text and other objects. The truly significant benefit, and this is a huge aha moment for many designers, is the ability to easily making global changes by simply editing the style.
So that example you gave earlier, instead of going through a 20-page annual report, manually changing every headline from a specific blue to a new shade of green.
Exactly. You just change the definition of the headline blue style once, maybe update its color swatch.
And poof, everything updates instantly across the entire document. That sounds like a dream.
It is. A paragraph style is a comprehensive collection that encompasses all text formatting attributes, like font, font size, leading, that's the space between lines, alignment, left, right, center, justified, indents, space before or after paragraphs. It can even include character formats like all caps or small caps, and paragraph formats like hyphenation settings, and even text frame options like the number of columns within that frame and inset spacing, the margin inside the frame. It applies to all the text in a paragraph. So you can define a body paragraph style, and every paragraph with that style applied will instantly update if you tweak its font or spacing. It guarantees uniformity across your document, saving immense amounts of manual effort and preventing inconsistencies.
That covers whole paragraphs. And character styles. Are those for smaller bits of text within a paragraph for specific emphasis, like making one word bold?
Yes, precisely. Character styles specify variations from the character formats defined in the paragraph style. Think of them as overrides for specific words or phrases. For example, highlighting keywords in a paragraph with bold, italic, a different color, or maybe a specific font variation, without affecting the overall paragraph's alignment or line spacing. They allow for that granular control within a paragraph without breaking the underlying paragraph style.
And object styles, do they work the same way but for, well, objects like picture frames or shapes?
Exactly. Object styles extend this power of automation to non-text elements. They allow you to quickly and consistently format objects by saving attributes as styles. This can include things like fill color, stroke weight and style like a dashed line, corner options, rounded corners perhaps, text frame options if it's a text frame, and even effects like drop shadows or transparency settings. You define the look once, save it as an object style, and apply it to multiple objects with a click.
That's incredibly powerful. Mastering styles, paragraph, character, and object means you can handle larger, more complex projects with remarkable ease. It ensures your design remains cohesive and simple to update, even with those inevitable last-minute client revisions. It's truly the automation that professional designers rely on, transforming tedious tasks into single clicks.
It really is fundamental to efficient workflow. From styles, which manage consistency, we move to placing visual content. Working with graphics is obviously central to any visual design, giving your layouts their visual punch and narrative support.
Right, so how do you get images into your layout and how do you manipulate them once they're there? What's the basic process?
Graphics are added, usually from other programs like Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator, or maybe just a photo you have, like a, let's say, dining room.jpg image you might have for a furniture layout. You can either place a graphic into an existing frame that you've already drawn, maybe a rectangle you made with the rectangle frame tool, or you can create a new frame as you place the graphic, drawing its dimensions on the fly as you place it.
Okay, so you can pre-draw the box or draw it as you go.
Right. Once placed, you can then reposition the selected graphics frame and change its dimensions using the selection tool, or using tools like the control panel for precise numerical adjustments. When you use the File Place command, your cursor transforms into a loaded graphics icon, displaying a little preview of the image you've selected. You can then click to place it at its full original size, 100%, or, more commonly, click and drag to scale it visually as you place it, defining the size of the frame it goes into.
What about moving the picture inside the frame? Like cropping it differently?
That's where the content grabber comes in. It appears as a small donut-like circle, sometimes called the donut, when you hover over an image within its frame. Clicking this selects the image content itself, rather than the frame. Now you can drag the image around inside the frame to change the cropping, or resize the image content without changing the frame size. It offers fantastic flexibility for composition.
Got it. Frame versus content. That's a key distinction. So graphics are one type of object, but InDesign's general handling of objects seems pretty fundamental to everything you do in a layout.
Indeed. It's the foundation. The building blocks of InDesign pages are objects, text frames, graphics frames, lines, shapes, and more. These are your fundamental containers and visual elements. You primarily use the selection tool, the black arrow, to select, move, and resize them, giving you basic control. And as we mentioned, objects can have a fill color, background color, and a stroke color, outline, or border, which you can customize to great effect using the Swatches panel or the Properties panel. Understanding their manipulation, moving, resizing, applying color, adjusting stroke weight, and style is absolutely essential for any layout design.
So for precise control over an object size and position, you're usually going to the Properties or Control panel to input exact numerical values, like coordinates and dimensions.
Yes. That's where the real precision comes in for professional work. For precise transformation, you input specific X, Y, W, and H values, X, Y for position, WH for width height, in the Properties or Control panel. It's also important to understand the reference point when transforming. This is usually shown as a little 9-box grid in the Control panel. It determines the anchor point from which the transformation occurs, like scaling from the center or rotating around a corner. It gives you fine control over how things resize or rotate.
Okay, reference points. Good tip.
And you can change an object's stroke weight, how thick the line is, its stroke color, and its fill color, usually using the appearance controls in the Properties panel or the dedicated swatches and stroke panels. For more nuanced control over shapes, the Direct Selection tool, the white arrow, allows you to select individual objects within a group without ungrouping them first. Or, more interestingly, it lets you select the individual anchor points of a frame or path, the little squares at the corners or on curves, and drag them to reshape the object into non-rectangular, completely custom forms.
So you can really sculpt shapes with the direct selection tool.
Absolutely. This foundational understanding of objects and how to manipulate them precisely allows for increasingly complex and sophisticated layouts. It moves you beyond simply placing elements to truly composing a page with intricate detail and control.
So once all these elements, text, graphics, and various objects are meticulously placed and styled, the design is done, right? Ready for print or digital export. Or is there another check?
Not so fast. There's one more crucial step, especially if you're heading to a commercial printer. Before output, a critical process that cannot be overlooked is preflighting.
Preflighting.
Yeah.
Like checking the plane before takeoff.
Exactly like that. It's the process of evaluating a document for potential output issues. Think of it as a final quality control check before you send it off to a printer or publish it digitally. Catching problems now saves huge headaches later. And InDesign has a fantastic live pre-flight feature that lets you monitor documents as you're working to prevent problems from occurring. It's constantly checking things in the background based on rules you set up.
Live pre-flight. So it's like having a co-pilot constantly checking the instruments.
Kind of, yeah. You can even customize it with pre-flight profiles tailored to specific printing presses or digital output requirements. Your printer might even give you a profile to use.
So it's like a real-time quality check that warns you before problems even become big problems. It's amazing. No more discovering a missing font or an incorrect image resolution right before the deadline hits.
Exactly. Live pre-flight means continuous, dynamic feedback. It catches issues like whether all the lines in the document thick enough to print. Imagine a hairline stroke that looks fine on screen, but might disappear completely on a printing press. Or it checks if colors display and print properly before they become costly errors. It gives you proactive feedback, ensuring you don't get overwhelmed by a cascade of problems at the last minute.
Where do you see these warnings? Does a big alarm go off?
Not quite an alarm, but the pre-flight panel, window output pre-flight, lists any errors it finds. And there's also a small indicator, usually a green circle or a red circle with an error count in the lower left corner of the document window. Green means no errors found based on the current profile. Red means, check the panel. For instance, it can flag an RGB color if your document profile is set for CMYK printing, which is standard for most professional printing.
Why is that RGB versus CMYK difference so critical again?
Well, remember, your screen uses light red, green, blue, RGB, to create a vast spectrum of vibrant colors. It's additive color. But professional printers use physical inks, cyan, magenta, yellow, and key, black, or CMYK. It's subtractive color. Many brilliant saturated RGB colors, especially bright greens and blues, simply can't be reproduced accurately with standard CMYK inks. They'll look duller or shift in hue when printed. Ignoring this warning is like designing a vibrant neon green poster online, only to have it print out looking like a muddy olive green. Preflight helps catch these mismatches. It ensures your on-screen vision translates as faithfully as possible to the printed page, saving time, money, and potential disappointment. This proactive approach to quality control is really a hallmark of professional design workflows.
Okay, preflighting is essential. Catching errors early. What about seeing the final look before sending it off? You want to see it as the end user will, right? Without all the guys and boxes.
Absolutely. That's where presentation mode comes in, and it's a vital part of the review process, not just for showing clients, but for your own final check. You get to it via view screen mode presentation. It does exactly what it sounds like. It displays artwork as if it were printed and trimmed. All those non-printing elements are suppressed. Guides, grids, frame edges, notes, anything that won't print just vanishes. And the pasteboard, that area around your page, is set to the preview color defined in preferences, usually a neutral gray or black.
So it's a clean, full-screen preview.
Exactly. This is your opportunity to see your design exactly as the end user will see it, the closest on-screen view you can get to the final printed or exported product. It allows you to step back and appreciate the design without any distractions from the editing interface or surrounding digital clutter. You can also press Tab to hide all the panels temporarily for an even cleaner, completely full-screen view, and then press Tab again to bring them back.
It's tempting to think presentation mode is just for showing off your design. But from your experience, what subtle, critical design flaws often become glaringly obvious only when you strip away the editing interface and see it clean like that?
That's a great question because it really does reveal things. You'd be surprised. Things like subtle misalignments that were maybe hidden by your guides become really obvious. Or text rivers, those awkward streams of white space meandering through justified paragraphs, they can become blaringly obvious without the distraction of the text frame boundaries. Or even just how certain colors or graphic elements interact visually when you're no longer seeing the technical outline of their frames. Sometimes things just don't feel balanced until you see them in this clean state. This mode helps you spot those elusive visual issues that might be obscured by the editing guides and tool clutter, ensuring your creative intent is fully realized and polished in the final output. It's a crucial final eyeball check.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. A clean look can reveal hidden flaws. So we've covered getting started, the workspace, navigation, and the basic elements like objects, text, graphics, styles, and checking your work. Now let's talk about structuring the document itself, working with pages, and the powerful Master Pages feature.
Right. Setting up the document structure correctly from the very beginning saves so much time and prevents major headaches later on, especially in multi-page projects.
How does InDesign handle creating new documents? Can you just start blank? Or are there templates or presets to help?
You have both options, which is great. You can, of course, create a new document completely from scratch using File New Document. You'll get a dialog box where you specify everything: page size, orientation, number of pages, columns, margins, bleed, slug.
Bleed and slug. Remind me what those are again.
Sure. Bleed is that extra area, usually about 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters, extending beyond the edge of your final page size. If you have images or colors that go right to the edge, they need to extend into this bleed area. It gets trimmed off after printing, ensuring you don't get a thin white line at the edge if the trimming isn't perfectly precise. Slug is an area usually outside the bleed where you can put printing instructions, notes for the printer, color bars, or other information that's not part of the final design but is useful during production. It also gets trimmed off.
Got it. Bleed for edge-to-edge printing, slug for production notes. So back to new documents.
Right, so you can set all that up manually. But InDesign truly shines when you start from a preset. It comes with many built-in presets for common document types, print sizes like letter, A4, tabloid, web sizes, mobile device sizes. Even better, once you've nailed down settings for a common project, you do often maybe a specific newsletter format or a standard report layout for your company. You can save custom document settings as a document preset.
Ah, presets. So I don't have to remember the exact margin settings or bleed requirements every single time.
Exactly. Document presets are all about efficiency and consistency for your projects. Instead of re-entering identical settings every time you start, say, that 8-page newsletter or a standard business card with the correct bleed, you save those settings once as a preset. Then next time, you just choose your custom preset from the new document dialog, and boom, number of pages, page size, columns, margins, bleed, slug. It's all set up instantly and accurately. This directly addresses your need for gaining knowledge quickly and thoroughly by automating those repetitive setup tasks right from the outset.
That's fantastic. Time saving and error reducing. You mentioned columns and gutters and presets too.
Yes. You can define the default number of columns for your pages and the gutter, which, remember, is the term for the space between columns. Setting these in a preset ensures your basic page grid is consistent from the start. Standardized presets that include all these values, page size, margins, columns, gutters, bleed, slug, are absolutely crucial in professional workflows, ensuring all documents for a client or publication maintain a consistent look and print correctly without costly reruns or delays.
That makes perfect sense. Get the foundation right every time. The power of consistency is amplified even further with master pages, right? They're like central templates for your document pages, defining the look and feel of entire sections automatically.
Precisely. Think of a master page as being like a template that you can apply to any page in a document. Or perhaps multiple templates, as you can have several different master pages in one document, like A master, B master, C master. They contain elements such as headers, footers, page numbers, logos, background colors, or guide structures that appear on all document pages to which that specific master is applied.
So they're the secret weapon for efficiency in multi-page documents like books or magazines.
Absolutely. You define common elements once on the master page, and they automatically populate across dozens, hundreds, even thousands of document pages that use that master. It ensures consistency, reduces errors dramatically, and saves immense amounts of time. Imagine manually adding page numbers and a chapter title to every single page of a 300-page book. Master pages handle that automatically.
Okay, that sounds essential. Where do you actually manage these master pages?
You manage them in the Pages panel. window pages. This panel is your hub for document structure. You'll see it's typically divided into two sections by a horizontal line. Master pages reside in the upper section, usually labeled something like a master. Document pages are in the lower section.
And you can put things like guides on master pages too. So every page based on that master gets the same grid.
Yes, exactly. Guides placed on a master page appear on any document pages to which that master is applied. This means you can establish a consistent structural grid for your entire publication on the master page, ensuring alignment across spreads. You can use the Layout Create Guides command to add precise rows and columns to your master page, fitting them to the page boundaries or just within the margins, providing that consistent structural grid for all linked document pages. It's incredibly useful for maintaining visual order.
And automatic page numbering, how does that work on a master?
It's quite clever. On your master page, you draw a small text frame where you want the page number to appear, say in the bottom corner. Then, with the cursor in that frame, instead of typing a number, you go to Type Insert Special Character Markers Current Page Number. It usually inserts a special character, like A if it's on the A master. But on the actual document pages that use that master, that special character automatically displays the correct page number for that page 1, 2, 3, and so on.
That's smart. It just knows the page number. What about documents with facing pages, like a book or a magazine spread, where you see two pages side by side? How does InDesign handle masters for those?
InDesign clearly shows this facing page structure in the Pages panel if you've set up your document that way, which is the default for most print work. Page 1 typically appears alone on the right side of the spine, then page 2 is on the left, page 3 on the right, mimicking a printed spread. All odd-numbered pages are on the right, and even-numbered pages are on the left, which is standard book design convention. Your master pages will also reflect this, usually showing a left-hand master page and a right-hand master page within the A master spread, for example. This lets you put page numbers on the outside corners or have slightly different margins near the spine, the inside edge where the pages are bound.
So you can design the left and right masters slightly differently if needed.
Exactly. You can also duplicate elements on master pages, like a header or a decorative flourish, and use the transformation tools, perhaps using math in the control panel for precise positioning, to mirror it perfectly on an opposing page within a master spread. You can even add placeholder text frames and placeholder graphics frames to masters. These are empty frames styled the way you want your content frames to look. They act as consistent guides for where content will be added later on specific document pages, ensuring your design, vision, and structure are maintained even before the final text and images are dropped in.
Placeholders, so they show where things should go.
Right. It helps maintain the integrity of the layout. Mastering master pages is truly a cornerstone of professional document design. It enables complex layouts like newsletters, magazines, or books with minimal effort for repetitive elements, while maintaining absolute visual harmony and consistency.
So masters provide that bedrock of consistency and efficiency. But sometimes a specific page might need to break the rule, right? Like a cover page that shouldn't have a page number or a header, or maybe a special introductory page that needs a completely unique layout. How do you override those master page items for just one specific instance?
That's where InDesign's flexibility with inconsistency really shines. It's designed for exactly these kinds of exceptions. If a frame or object, like a page number marker or a background graphic, is inherited from the parent master, you can't select it with a simple click on a regular document page. It's locked because it's part of the template.
Okay, so you can't accidentally move the page number on page 17.
Correct. To override its status as a master item and then delete or modify it just for that specific page, you need to use a key combination. You hold down Shift plus Creole Windows or Shift plus Command macOS and then click on the master item you want to unlock on that page. Once you do that, it becomes a regular page item on that specific page only, and you can move it, resize it, change its color, or delete it entirely without affecting the master page or any other document pages.
Shift plus Control or Shift plus Command click. Got it. That's the key.
Yes. This allows you to make those necessary exceptions when a specific page requires unique treatment, like removing the header from the first page of a chapter or changing the background color on a special feature page. There's another way, too. If you want to remove all master page items from a specific page, giving you a completely blank slate, you can simply drag the special master page icon called None, which you'll find at the top of the Pages panel, directly onto the icon of document page 1, or whichever page you want clear, in the Pages panel. That detaches it completely from any master.
Okay, None and Master for a totally blank page. That's useful, too. What if you want to modify a parent master itself? Like you decide all your A master pages need a slightly different footer.
Mm.
If you change the A master, does that automatically update all the document pages using it?
Yes, absolutely. That's the core power of masters. Changes made to a parent master, say your main A3 column layout master,
Hmm.
are automatically added or updated on all the document pages currently based on that A master. It even applies to child master pages if you have those set up. For example, you might create a B2 column layout master that is based on the A master. It inherits everything from A, but maybe you change the column structure. If you then change the footer on the parent A master, that change will ripple down to the child B master and all document pages using either A or B. It's a powerful hierarchical system.
That sounds like it could save enormous amounts of time on big revisions.
It does. This nested system allows for highly flexible and efficient design where you can manage variations like different column layouts on child masters while maintaining a core design language defined on the parent master. Large-scale changes become surprisingly effortless. You can even import snippets. These are self-contained files containing InDesign objects and their relative locations to quickly add complex pre-designed elements to a master page. Imagine you have a standard author bio box design used across many publications. Save it as a snippet, then just drag it onto the relevant master page template whenever you need it.
Snippets, like reusable building blocks you can drop onto masters. Very cool.
Exactly. It's all about efficiency and consistency.
So once your document structure and master pages are exquisitely set up, it's time to add and rearrange the actual content pages themselves. This feels like the dynamic part of building your document, adding chapters, removing sections, shuffling things around.
Absolutely. You have full, fluid control over the physical structure of your document after the initial setup. You can easily add new pages to an existing document using the Pages panel menu or buttons, and you can rearrange and delete document pages as needed simply by clicking and dragging their icons in the Pages panel. Want to move Chapter 3 before Chapter 2? Just drag the pages. Need to delete a redundant section, select the pages, and hit the trash icon. It's very intuitive.
What about changing page sizes within a document? You mentioned that for things like fold-outs or special sections.
Yes, InDesign is remarkably flexible here. You can actually change the size of pages within one InDesign document. You don't have to have every single page be the same size. This is done using the Page tool. You can select specific pages and change their dimensions independently. This is perfect for things like designing a trifold brochure where one panel needs to be slightly narrower to fold correctly inside the others. Or maybe a magazine has a special pull-out poster section on larger paper stock. InDesign can handle that within the same document file.
That's incredibly versatile. So if I start with a standard U.S. letter document, but then realize halfway through that a particular section needs to be A4, or maybe even tabloid for a big graphic spread, InDesign can handle that page size change and maybe even help adjust my content.
Yes, InDesign includes a powerful feature called File Adjust Layout. If you change the document's overall size or even the size of specific pages using the Page tool, Adjust Layout can attempt to automatically scale or intelligently rearrange the content on those pages to fit the new dimensions. It's not always perfect, especially with complex layouts, but it can save a huge amount of manual repositioning when you need to adapt a design to a new format or orientation. It looks at margins, column guides, and object constraints to try and reflow things logically.
Adjust layout, another feature to explore. And for multi-part documents like magazines or reports, what about page numbering for different sections? Like having Roman numerals for the intro, then starting page 1 for the main content.
Absolutely standard practice, and InDesign handles it well. You can add sections to change page numbering. You do this through the Pages panel menu, numbering and section options.
Okay.
For any selected page, you can tell InDesign to start a new section there. This allows you to restart page numbering, so to start numbering from 1 on that page, or even change the numbering style for that section. For example, switch from lowercase Roman numerals I, 2, 3 in the front matter to Arabic numerals 1, 2, 3 for the main body content.
Perfect for books and long reports.
Exactly. This capability is crucial for documents where front matter, main content, and back matter might have different page numbering schemes or even slightly different master page elements, like headers appearing only in the main body within the same file. It ensures a professional publication-ready structure.
And we talked about overwriting master page items with Shift plus Creole Command plus click. That's how you'd place unique text and graphics on pages that deviate from the master. Right. Like putting the main cover image and title on page 1, which has the none master applied.
Precisely. You'd likely apply the none master to page 1, so it's a blank slate. Then you'd place your main cover graphic and headline text directly onto that document page using the techniques we discussed earlier, placing graphics into frames, using the type tool, etc. For pages that do use a master but need a slight modification, maybe replacing a placeholder graphic frame on the master with the actual chapter opening image you would shift, plus Studio Command plus click to unlock that specific placeholder frame on the document page, and then use File Place to put your unique image into it. The rest of the master page elements, like page numbers or footers, would remain intact.
Okay, it's all starting to connect how masters provide the template and overrides provide the flexibility for unique page content. One last thing on page setup, that bleed area for printing to the edge.
Yeah.
How do you actually see where the bleed is when you're designing?
Good question. When you set up bleed values in your document setup, file document setup, bleed and slug, InDesign displays bleed guides on your page. These usually appear as thin red lines just outside your actual page boundary, the black line. These red guides visually show you the extent of the bleed area. So when you place an image or a color block that needs to print right to the edge, you make sure it extends all the way out to, or even slightly past, these red bleed guides. This visually confirms you've provided enough extra image area for trimming.
So you aim for the red lines if you want edge-to-edge printing.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of it. When you view the completed spread, perhaps in presentation mode or by exporting a PDF with bleed marks, you can see how those elements extending into the bleed area ensure a clean, professional finish after trimming.
That covers setting up documents and managing pages really thoroughly, from presets and masters for consistency to overrides and page size adjustments for flexibility, and handling critical print elements like bleed. It's a solid blueprint for building any document.
Absolutely. It's about building that robust, efficient structure for your design. These setup steps, while maybe not the most glamorous part of design, are critical for efficient and effective work in InDesign, especially as your projects grow in complexity. They allow you to focus on the creative aspects later, rather than wrestling with structural problems, ensuring your journey from concept to final output is as smooth and professional as possible.
We've laid a fantastic foundation today, covering everything from the initial setup and understanding the workspace to navigating documents and the core concepts of pages and master pages in InDesign. It feels like we've really set the stage for diving deeper into the creative elements. Thinking about this foundational structure we've explored, workspaces, defaults, pages, masters, how do you envision these core organizational tools evolving in the future? Could AI perhaps learn your preferred structures or automatically suggest master page layouts based on the type of document you start creating?
That's a really interesting direction to consider. I can definitely see AI playing a bigger role there. Imagine InDesign analyzing your initial content. Maybe you place a long text document and it suggests, this looks like a book. Would you like me to set up standard chapter masters with running heads and automatic page numbering based on common publishing conventions? Or perhaps AI could learn your personal workspace preferences over time, automatically arranging panels or suggesting custom workspaces based on the specific tools you tend to use for certain project types. It could move beyond just saving presets to proactively anticipating and configuring your ideal setup, making the initial stages even more seamless and intuitive for you.
Wow, adaptive setup based on content or user habits. That could really streamline things, especially for complex projects. It leads to the idea of the software becoming less of a static tool and more of a dynamic assistant. We encourage you, our curious listener, to really play with these foundational elements. Try creating your own document presets for projects you do often. Experiment with setting up different master pages, maybe one for text chapters, one for image galleries. Practice overriding master items. Explore the adjust layout feature if you need to resize a document. Getting comfortable with this structure is key.
Definitely. Don't be afraid to experiment. Create a test document and just play with the Pages panel, drag pages around, apply different masters, override items. The more comfortable you are with the structure, the more creative freedom you'll have later. You've got the foundational insights now to really build complex professional documents efficiently.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the foundations of Adobe InDesign. We'll continue exploring its powerful features next time on the Deep Dive.